mics. Just get yourself close to the mics. I'm waiting on new mics. These ones kind of suck. You can't really move them. There's a little intro I'm doing right now, and then I'll bring you guys. Will know. I'll bring you in.
Shut your phones off.
Oh, good call. I should too. Media. Here we go. I got
It's Tim. It's me with the Attitude for Gratitude podcast every Friday night. You're tuned in. You're about to hear a show every Friday night, 8 p.m. down here at Will Work for Recovery, the new location, 4026 Washington Avenue North. We talk about everything, anything and everything recovery related. Like, stick around, check it out. You'll see some information scrolling across the bottom. Utilize that information if you need. But the thing about Will Work for Recovery is exactly what you hear in the title of its name, Will Work for Recovery. Every time you come to a meeting here, and if you've been here, you know what I'm talking about. We don't start the meeting until we make sure everyone's got a ride home. We don't hand out phone lists because, hence, Will Work for Recovery. Go up to somebody, talk to them. Hey, what's your number? Make a connection about some recovery stuff. Like, that's what we get to do today. Like, we make connections just like the old life, but for a good reason today. You know what I'm saying? We've got all sorts of things going on down here. Every day of the week there's meetings. Every evening at 7 p.m. there's a meeting. There's a very structured recovery meeting at 6:30 a.m. every day. We have 1 p.m. meetings here. Wednesdays at 5 p.m. there's an all men's meeting and an all women's meeting. And we're always adding more things. We've got a huge event coming up August 9th. It's the Blast from the Past 80s Bash. And then we've got August 31st, which is Overdose Awareness Day. We've got a huge event coming up that day, too. So we've got tons of stuff going on down here at Will Work for Recovery. Not to mention a podcast. We have multiple different people come on from all walks of life, all different areas of recovery. Like, there's no one type of recovery we talk about. Not this fellowship, not only that fellowship, not only this way, not only that way. Like, I just talk to people and hear their stories about their journey and what they found and how they found it. Sometimes it's faith-based. Sometimes it is these 12-step programs. Other things are meditation stuff. There's so many different facets of what you'll hear people sharing about. Bottom line is, we're doing it all down here at Will Work for Recovery. Podcast, Attitude for Gratitude. You're about to hear it, so stay tuned for whatever guest I have up next.
Hey, everybody. There we are. All right. The show has started, and as always, I am fumbling around with cell phones and this, that, the third. We are live. All right. I'm going to set up the TikTok page, thingamajigger. You know how it is, guys and gals out there. There we go. That's good. This is good. We're ready. Take this headphone out. As always, audience, if you guys are noticing that sound is off or there's some issue, just let me know. It is live, as always, interactive show. If you have questions for the guests throughout, put it right on there. I'll do my best to get to it. The YouTube channel, those questions come in a few minutes after the Facebook one, so just bear with me. You guys are fine. Your mics are muted right now. You will be live in a sec. I've got my guests in here, as you see on the bottom of the screen, from Sheep Ministries. Dave and a couple other guests. We'll get to know them here shortly. We are down at Will Work for Recovery, 4026 Washington Avenue North. Every day of the week, we've got stuff going on down here. Excuse me. Pardon me while I take a sip of coffee. It's not coffee, but it's in a coffee cup. So before I even start talking about advertising or whatever we've got going on down here, if you're struggling, if you're having a tough time, if you're in your head, or if you're having negative thoughts, please reach out. You can dial 988 if you're having self-harming thoughts. You can call Intergroup. You can get down to the local recovery center. You can go to meetingchair.org. You can go to the NA website. Just reach out. You're worth it. If you are struggling, mental health is a real thing. If you need to go to the doctor, go to the doctor. Don't be ashamed. Don't be scared. Go do what you got to do to help self. I need you here. All right. We'll Work for Recovery, 4026 Washington Avenue North. We've got a big event coming up August 9th. Blast from the Past 80s Bash. We got walking tacos. We got minnow races and what's that? Croaky and DJ. We got a campfire meeting. We got a contest, a dress up, a retro dressing contest. We got all sorts of fun stuff going on. And that's August 9th. And we have a walk and talk speaker at 7 p.m. And then the big event starts at 8 p.m. So get involved. Come on down. If you want to be part of helping put the show on, come on down. Reach out to me. My phone number is going across the bottom of the screen right now. Not on TikTok, but you can message me on TikTok. Wednesdays, 5 p.m. There is a men's meeting here and a women's meeting here. Every morning at 6:30 a.m. there's a very structured recovery meeting that takes place here at 4026 Washington Avenue North. Other than that, every evening at 7 p.m. there's some type of meeting going on here. Mondays we have a spiritual meeting with Star and her mom that come in here. They're spiritual leaders that they go into the prayer room. So if you need some spiritual guidance or counseling, they're here for you. Wednesdays, it's a big, huge meeting. They do a reading out of one of the recovery books, and then we share about it. Fridays, it's like tonight. It's a call-up meeting. You walk in, you get this little ticket. Of course, they're going to be like, you might win something. What you win is the opportunity to share a little bit of your story. So come on down. Those are the 3 big nights. I mean, with a lot of people here in those meetings. Tuesday nights is a well-variety meeting. That's a Indigenous peoples native-based meeting. They do a couple of spiritual readings out of some native-based books, and then we share about it. It's a really great meeting. You should come on down and check it out. They smudge before the meeting starts. They do some ritual type things that I'm still in the dark about and I'm still learning about, but there's enough people there that help teach us. And then Thursday nights, like I said, more of an intimate meeting. It's more of a faith-based meeting, but it's still all recovery. Everything down here will work for recovery, hence will work for recovery. If you've been down here, then you know what this place is about. If you haven't been here, come on down, check us out. You work for your recovery down here. We don't have phone lists. You go, you get out of yourself and go ask someone, hey, what's your number? You connect that way. No meeting starts before we make sure everyone in that room has a ride home. There's some really cool stuff that takes place here. I've never been to another place like this in my almost dime of time being here, and I've been all over the country looking at different places and attending different meetings. It's a one-of-a-kind spot. If you haven't been here, come check us out. All right, I got everything out of the way, I think. August 9th, Blast from the Past, 80s Bash. August 31st, it's Overdose Awareness Day across the nation. And I think we've got a big event. It's an all-day thing, like 3 to 9. But we'll talk more about that after the 9th, the event on the 9th. Let's see. Am I missing anything? Yes, I am. The Armor of Yah. You guys know who Chucky is. You know all about Chuck and the Stone of Hope and the Soapstone Factory. He might get down here. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to come down here. If not, I will present my guests with the gift from Chucky. You guys all know about it. If you don't, come on down and get you a bar of soap, the Soap of Hope. It's Armor of Yah, Chuck, the guy with the biggest heart in the world. You guys will see. I got gifts for you guys. All right. Other than that, I think it's time we get going on this. So we'll start with TikTok, flipping the screen around, figuring out how to work things, flip camera, bingo, bango, bingo, bongo, wingo, wango. There we go. All right. And there we go. We got Dave in the picture. I'll be moving this around, so forgive me playing around on the phone. Now, I'm going to switch this camera from that one up to what's over my head. We're real high-class technological stuff going on here. Not at all. We're not technical at all. 3, yeah, exactly. Like 3+ years, I'm still trying to figure this stuff out. As long as I don't get too serious with it, we're fine. All right, there we go. Bingo. Even got a remote special. All right, so let me turn on here. We guys' mics. Can you guys hear me? Kind of like I got to get closer to my mic. Yeah. All right. Now you guys should be able to hear yourselves. Go ahead and just say hello. Who are you?
Hello, my name is Cherish Flowers.
Hi, Cherish. Welcome to the show, sir.
I'm Dave Johnson.
Welcome.
And I'm Jennifer Kay, Dave Johnson's daughter.
Nice. Welcome to the show. So what I'm going to do real quick is just I know nothing really about any of you. I have a snippet from a mutual friend who I've known for, I'd say 20 years now, Jacob, who is a great guy. And he's talked highly about you ever since he started on this journey. Yeah. What I'd like to do is have you just tell us who you are and what you're up to. I guess let's
Okay.
start. However, I have no format.
Yeah,
We just shoot from the hip here.
that's perfect.
So I don't know, like if you got a story about who you are, or whatever you think is comfortable, let's introduce the
Yeah.
world to you.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Appreciate you having us out here, Tim.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my background is I grew up in a dysfunctional home. I was the oldest of 5 kids, and my dad was kind of like a Jekyll and Hyde kind of alcoholic, and he was very abusive towards my mom, and he would slap her up, and her arms would be black and blue, and I would step up. I was the oldest of 5 kids, so then it would start getting focused on me. And anyhow, it was hard. It was a chaotic way to grow up, and played sports, for 7 years, and my dad never came to one of my games. It's like one of those kinds of things. When I was like 15, my dad slapped me because I didn't have milk in the house that particular day. That was like my job. If I had a job, I had to have milk in the house.
Okay.
And so it was dinner and there was not enough milk. And so he slapped me, and I said, "That's the last time you're going to do that." He's like, "Oh no, it's not." And so I went upstairs and I started to pack a suitcase, and I heard footsteps coming up, and then it stopped, and he went down into the basement, and he got something, and he started running up the stairs. My mom was there, and she said, "David, he's got a hammer." And
You were 15?
15.
Okay.
And my dad, he was this guy that he liked to fight.
Yeah.
Right. And so he had hit a guy so hard on the side of his head that it popped his eye out. So his eye was sitting on his cheek. And his friends had told me this. They had witnessed this whole thing. Right. So I had this fear of my dad.
Okay.
I don't want to get hit like that.
Right.
Yeah.
I imagine.
And so anyways, he came into my room. My mom's like, "David, he's got a hammer." And he had this wild, crazy look on his face with this hammer raised over his head. And in that moment, I just popped him. I hit him. He fell into my closet, and I hit him like 4 or 5 more times. My mom's in the doorway saying, "Good, hit him for me."
Oh,
Yeah. And
okay.
it broke his nose, broke his teeth, and I mean, he was a mess. He
You
had
let it all out.
Huh?
You let it all out.
Yeah,
You gave it to him.
Yeah. And I didn't even feel a thing.
Yeah.
It's like my fist was like a rock.
And he was 17 at the time.
Oh.
17? I thought I was 15.
I thought it was 17.
No, I graduated when I was 17.
See, this is why we have I love this. Perfect.
I don't think so.
All right, so
I've heard the
15 or
story a lot.
17. You know what?
Okay.
And I'm going to try my best not to do what I'm about to do is interrupt. But
Yeah.
at this point in your life, were you a kid who scrapped a lot, or did you fight? Like this wasn't
No, I'm not a fighter.
okay.
Yeah. And so anyhow, I ended up moving out, and I was out of the house, and I stayed in a boarding house, while I'm still in school. I had a part-time job, so I had enough money to pay for that. And, when I look back, it's all stuff that God needed me to go through so that I could be doing what I'm doing today. I see it now. I didn't see it back
I was
then.
going to say and this is a question that it's already came up and it comes up a lot, is timelines. When can you look back on it now? And you did just kind of allude to it.
Yeah.
Do you remember at what point in your life you realized that, okay, everything's been happening for a reason? And I know we're kind of opening a can of worms before we get to this part in your story, but go ahead.
I was probably 50 when that finally happened.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I'm 73 now.
Okay. So
Yeah,
about
and
20
so-
gap. Okay.
Yeah. So it's but a lot of stuff had happened since then. I got drafted. Vietnam was going on. My family was just like really sad. I went to the Milwaukee Road, depot to depart to go out to Washington, to go in the Army. And they're watching the news. People are getting killed
Right.
every day, so they're sobbing at the station. And so anyways, that's kind of like the start of everything in my life. And I was, when I got in a car accident, a buddy wanted to go on the back seat and make out with this other girl when I'm in high school, and I didn't even have a permit. And he goes, "Who wants to drive?" And I'm like, "I'll drive." and we had been drinking, and I hit a parked car, and then next thing you know, I thought I put it in park. It's on the column.
Yeah. Huh?
I put it in reverse,
Oh,
and I turned around to tell him, "You get rid of that bottle." The guy who had the car, he ran, but what happened is my foot hit the gas, and it went backwards over a snowbank. And the next thing I know, there was a flashlight in my face, and it was a cop, and he was like right there, saw the whole thing,
oh boy.
Yeah, they took me to station and they said, "You've been drinking?" I went, "No." And I'm like, "Well, that's not roses we're smelling." So anyhow, he didn't, charge me for anything. He brought me home, and the only thing that happened to me is it delayed me getting my permit for 6 months.
So this was before the draft.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you know what? I guess I didn't ask. And of course, we're at a recovery center, and this is a Attitude for Gratitude recovery podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even know your story about if there's drugs and alcohol or an aspect of recovery to it.
Yeah.
But please touch on that if that's part of your story as you're going through
Well,
this.
some of it applies to me. And so
Yep.
it's like God wanted me to, recognize what guys go through,
Right.
And so, so I had that experience of getting drunk, getting in a car accident. And when I was in the Army, I had another experience of, we were at this NCO club, and we were drinking, and we got so drunk, we poured a pitcher of beer into a guy's boot. He'd been marching all day and stuff. And then we passed his boot around and drank out of his boot. So we did some pretty stupid things. Yeah, it's insanity. Yeah. And so I recognize, what people have gone through. I've had chaos, and then I've done my own stuff. Then when I was, in the Army, I was smoking weed and did some hash, and it's like, wow, this is great, far out, man. And anyhow, then at the time, my girlfriend ended up getting pregnant, and then I started talking to God about that, and he's like, "Well, your kids are going to be like parrots; they're going to do whatever you do." And I'm like, "Oh." As much as I like getting high, I didn't want that for my kids.
Right.
Mm.
Were you always spiritual?
Yeah.
Looking back on it,
Yeah, I
were
was.
you raised?
Yep. I've always been spiritual.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I love God, and I felt like he's always loved me. And I remember, I did, things. We got divorced. I had 3 kids. This is my middle child. Okay. I have an older daughter and then a younger son. And but after we got divorced, I was like, hey, I never did this before. And, I had a good job, and I was traveling all over, and I was on an expense account, and I was out in New York, every month. I had Lufthansa German Airlines as one of my clients. And so I'd have to go out there and take these proofs out. We did all the printing for them.
Okay.
Yeah. And so, but I was going to Broadway plays and staying in the Westin Hotel and
having a good life.
It was the good life.
Yeah.
And then while I'm out there, my whole thing was chasing women.
Imagine that.
Yeah. So, I thought I had it made, but it wasn't satisfying because there was nothing lasting, and ultimately,
no substance.
No. And so something was really missing, and I ended up living with 3 different women, and yet I'm going to church, and I'm professing to be a Christian, but clearly I wasn't walking the talk. I felt more like the scribes and the Pharisees. I wanted to look the part.
Right.
Yeah. And but there was a check in my spirit, and all the while I'm doing that, I was just like saying, I don't want to stop. I just want to keep doing this, but I don't want to die in my sin. Because if I died in my sin, I knew I was going to go to hell.
It's like living in the flesh, like living of the flesh.
Yeah.
But also being aware of what I don't want because of living in the flesh.
Right.
Something, right? Like, you're enjoying it, didn't want to stop, but also knew, like, if this is over, I'm going to pay the price.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's eternity type stuff.
Yeah. No. So it was pretty fragile, and I realized it's like, I can't keep doing this. And, the thing that happened to me, and this is where my life changed, is I was living with one person and one lady, and what happened is we broke up, and after we broke up, I'm like, I've been talking to God, but not getting any response at all. It's like talking to a wall.
Mhm.
And I thought, okay, I'm just going to open my Bible up. And that's what I did. I opened my Bible up and I just said, I'm going to just point and I'll read whatever, maybe you'll say something to me here. And where I went was Galatians 5:16 through 26. And it starts out by saying, so I say, live by the Spirit, and you will not gratify the desires of the sinful nature. I'm like, whoa, you got goosebumps on your arms. Yeah.
Look how that worked.
Yeah. Because, it really spoke to me. And then it went on to say, you can't be in two places at the same time. Either you're going to be in the flesh or you're going to be in the spirit, and we get to choose. And then it goes on and says the acts of the sinful nature are obvious. And the first thing it said was sexual immorality. And put a check in my spirit, debauchery. And then it goes and I'm going through this list. I'm going guilty, 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 guilty of everything except for one thing. And then the very next sentence, it says, so I say again, as I did before, that those who live like this will not inherit the kingdom of God. And I'm like, I am sunk. I know who I am. I am a sinner through and through. I have never wanted to sin less. I've always wanted to sin more, and I can't stop it. It's just like sick to my stomach. And I said, God, if you love me, please help me. I don't want to go to hell.
Right.
Right. And that was it. I mean, that act of surrender, that's what God had been waiting for all this time. I was 50 years old when that happened, and now I'm 73. And in all those years, I've not had sex with, anyone. And I didn't think that that's possible.
But you know what? So up to this point, and we're on a roll here.
Yeah.
At this point, would you consider this a spiritual awakening for you?
Oh yeah, very much so. No, God got a hold of me, and it's like, no, you can't do it your way anymore. It's like, why my name is Yahweh. So let me do it.
Was the desire from that moment, was the desire gone? Or
yes, it was gone.
So
it was gone. It was just like, somebody's being set free from, drugs or alcohol. They don't have that desire anymore.
That's what I'm relating it to, is I'm trying to figure out here.
It was the same thing.
That's amazing stuff. So at that point too, and you shared about it, like all this stuff of it, that dang pesky free will. Dang it.
Mm-hmm.
It gets me all the time.
Yeah.
I work on it, but
so
at that point, like you knew after reading that, boom, you say this prayer.
Mm-hmm.
Take me from 50 years old to now. Like, how does this thing start? And I think you're going down that road anyways. I just had to hear my own voice or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. So from that point on, it was like, I really felt like the Lord got a hold of me and that he wanted to do something with my life, and I didn't know exactly what it was, but I ended up being invited to go out for coffee with a guy that I was going to church with. And so we ended up going to Starbucks Coffee, 98th and Lyndale in Bloomington. And so we get the last table in there and I get a cup of coffee, and he brings another guy and he says, I just wanted to check with you guys to see if you're interested in being on the Alpha team. And I said, Alpha? Where are you doing Alpha? And he said, at the Salvation Army. And I'm like, why would they do Alpha? What
does that mean? The Alpha to Alpha?
Alpha it's a course in Christianity. It answers a lot of questions that people might have. Right. Yeah. And so they were going to do this at the Salvation Army. I said, never heard of it. Why would they do it? And he says, it's this place called the ARC. I said, what is that? He goes, it's the Adult Rehabilitation Center. Nice. It's a residential program for men. And if they are willing to surrender and submit to God, he sets them free. And I started bawling my eyes out in Starbucks Coffee. That's when it really hit me. Like God saying, I know the plans I have for you, said the Lord. plans to prosper you, not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. And I'm like, whoa, God, this is it. And I had a full-time job. I was a vice president of a design firm downtown Minneapolis.
Doing well.
Yeah. And so what happened is I said, yeah, I want to be on that team. And so, it was funny being in that coffee shop and people looking at me.
You're balling.
Yeah. I mean, and it's not like little sobs. I'm making a fool of myself. It's like, it's never happened to me in my whole life or since.
Just came all pouring out.
It was just like, whoa, all of the stuff that I've gone through, God, you're saying I'm going to use it right now for good. Watch and see what I'm about to do. I'm like, wow, God. Yeah. And so I ended up saying yes. And that was one day a week. It was like a Tuesday that they would meet. And I would go down there 6 or 7 days a week. And, these guys are all tatted up. They're tough guys down there, And I walk in there and I'd say, God, who do you want me to talk to? And he'd point somebody out and I'd say, hey, you got a few minutes? Could we sit down and talk? And I'm a new guy. I'm a volunteer there, right?
Yeah.
I go, okay. And so I start talking to them. The next thing you know, they're opening up and I'm asking probing questions to them and they're answering and they're sobbing. They're sobbing, these guys that are these big, tough guys, and God is breaking through. And I'm like, God, it doesn't get better than this,
Right.
To see somebody being, just the love of God, just opening their heart, just changing their heart of stone and making it into a heart of flesh. It was so beautiful. So I couldn't stay away. After about 2 months, they asked me, would you teach a class on Christian living? And I said, well, when would you do it? Because I still had a full-time job,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And I was, and they said in the evening, I said, well, then I could do it. Yeah. So I started teaching a class on Christian living. And then about another month went by and they said, hey, would you consider having a position here as a counselor? And I said, listen, I've never gone to school to be a counselor. I don't know anything about being a counselor. And they're like, well, you're doing it already. You're already impacting these guys in ways that we can all see.
Right.
Yeah. And I'm like, well, I have a full-time job. I mean, I can't just do this, And so they said, what about just part-time? Would you do it in the evening? It's like, sure. Okay. How about if we just try it for a little bit.
Yep.
So the 3 months was the agreed upon time period, right? Well, I ended up being there for 12 years. Yeah. And I couldn't stay away and I loved it,
Right.
And so what happened is they got new administrators in and the new administrators, they had, just a different way of being. It was almost like the wrong spirit.
Yep.
And so what's happening, there was 120 guys in the program at the time when they turned over July 1st. And then it's like 3 months later, there was only 23 guys in the program. And so I'm still there. And as I'm hearing, guys are doing a mass exodus because what was happening is if you had, the first thing they did, if you worked in one of the stores, they own all these thrift stores.
Yep.
Okay. And you had dreadlocks, you had to either cut your dreadlocks or you were fired. And so that became a class action suit. So that's one thing against them.
Yep.
And then they ordered this other guy to go ahead and break up a floor, asbestos floor, and just throw it, in the regular garbage, right? And so he became a whistleblower. And so they couldn't fire him. And then he made this edict that if you had, so between Memorial Day and Labor Day, because the warehouse got to be really hot, 105 degrees in there, right? Yeah. Processing all this donated stuff. They said you could wear shorts and short sleeve shirts. Well, he said no more shorts. Okay. And that if you had tattoos on your arms, you had long sleeves, right? If you had them on your hands, you had to wear gloves. If you had them on your neck, you had to wear a turtleneck in the summer.
That was this new direction.
That's a new, yes.
Okay.
And then if you had them on your face, you had to put bandages. Okay. We had one guy that looked like a mummy, Yeah. And so people were just like, totally offended.
You guys heard that, right? Something cut out here.
No.
There we go.
You didn't hear it?
Oh, did you hear it in your ears?
I don't know.
We were all good. So this new direction, this new administrator, they come in and they basically turned everything upside down to a detriment of the spirit of
and
salvation.
So when I would hear about people that were going to leave, I would go to them and say, if I could get you in another Christian-based program, would you do it? And they'd say, okay. And then I would say, well, meet me in the
foyer or something outside.
outside in the
Yeah.
driveway or whatever, in a half hour. Okay. And so that's what happened. And then somebody would come from that company and interview them and go, okay, you're good. You can come in. And so after about 20 guys, they caught wind that I was doing this, and then I was fired.
So you're busy facilitating, saving life. People don't get this, is that when there's people in these type of programs, in these sober livings or halfway houses, and they just get the boot, we're talking life and death.
Yeah.
People go back out to the streets and die,
Mhm.
especially when we're talking about addiction. Not saying it's more so than something else, but just because we do have a lot of people that listen to this show that have no clue about recovery or addiction,
Right.
or halfway houses or sober living.
Yeah.
But some think it's extreme when I talk this way, but it's not. A guy who has a roof over their head, some structure, and they're learning how to live again, and all of a sudden they're getting the boot, they go out and die.
Yeah, they can. Absolutely.
yeah.
And I was against that. And so what I did after I lost the job, I'm home and I'm praying about it. And it's like, God, I don't know what to do. And I already had another job at Teen Challenge.
Okay.
Okay. And so, but I was concerned about the guys in the program.
Right.
Right. And so he put it on my mind, call Channel 9 Investigative News. And so I called them and I said, this is what's going on at the Salvation Army, ARC, and told them these 3 incidences. And they said, could we come out and film you tonight? And I said, yeah. And so they came out with a film crew and they were asking me questions. And then the next day it was on TV. And during the interview, I told them, if they don't make a change in this leadership, I'm going to hold a protest against the Salvation Army. And I did. And they didn't make a change. And I had 100 people out in front of that building with signs going back and forth. And 3 TV channels showed up and they were interviewing me and some of the other people that were there, asking, why are you doing this? And they told them why. And it took a year before they finally got rid of that guy. But when they didn't do it after the protest, when they didn't do it, I did another protest. And this time they put us on the front page of the St. Paul Pioneer Press Sunday edition and the Star Tribune front page Sunday edition, and picture of me and why I'm doing what I'm doing. It's like, I'm a stand for people not being treated as second-class citizens.
No matter where they're at in life.
No matter. I treat people like they're people, I mean, God created them. He loves them. And, why?
Let's give it up for that. Yeah. No, I'm serious. To find someone who cares and gives their own time and is doing this. When was this? In the 90s or early 2000s?
Yeah, it was like, so I left there in 2012.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. And then I worked at Teen Challenge from 2012 to 2019.
Okay.
Yeah. And so that kind of brings me. And so I started out at Teen Challenge. So my boss at the time got a job at Teen Challenge. And then so she wanted me to come over there. And so I went over there and I was
Teen Challenge is
Minnesota Adult and Teen Challenge. It's a place for both men and women who struggle with addictions to drugs and alcohol and also have, some mental health issues to come in. It's co-occurring and they treat the whole person there.
Yep. It's faith-based too.
Faith-based program. Yep. And so anyways, I was a recovery coach there for, maybe 2.5 years. And then I really wanted to do something more front end. And so they put me into admissions. And so I was one of the people who answered the 612 freedom calls.
Nice.
Yeah. And so all the calls that would come in, I'd answer those calls and talk to people, and try to direct them as to, how they can just, change their life. Well, one of my jobs when I was there was teaching a class to the women for 2 hours every Friday. And so they got to know me pretty well. And one of the ladies came to me and said, hey, my son's not doing well. Would you reach out to him and see if he'd be willing to come into treatment? I said, well, absolutely. So I called him and we talked. And, after a number of conversations, he said, okay, I'll do it. And so he came into Teen Challenge and he's a very spiritual guy. And everybody really liked him. you know. But he was there for 6 weeks and he did something he shouldn't have done, and it got him discharged from the program.
Yep.
And so he's out of the program, and he ended up using heroin, and he died.
Mm.
And he's 19 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And here he's a guy I helped get in, you know, had a relationship with and stuff. And I went to his funeral, and I'm up by his urn in his pictures, and his mom sees me. And so she knew me, obviously. And she came and she draped herself on my shoulders. And man, it was so sad to feel the depth of her despair and just these sobs. And I was just holding her up. She was just limp in my arms. And her son is Noah. And so it was in that moment when I'm hugging her that God said, this is what I've called you to do, to come alongside people who are outside of my will. And I want you to enter into a conversation with them and ask them, are you interested in having a better life? That was the start of the whole thing. And I'm like, what do I do with this? You know, and then it was just like on me. I know it was God speaking to me. My sheep know my voice and they follow me. I knew it was him, right? So he said these things to me. He had a call on my life. He wanted me to do something special. And so after praying about it for a while, he says, well, just send an email off to the leadership of Teen Challenge. So I sent it to the CEO, the VPs, the directors, and, you know, all those people. And I said, would it be possible to create a position for me to go out after anybody that would leave on their own or they got discharged, just to make certain that they were okay, that kept a connection with Teen Challenge? And, you know, and so they reviewed it and they said, well, you know, we've got over 500 positions right now. We're not going to create any new positions at this time. I'm like, okay. And so I went home and I'm like, God was still after me. You know, he didn't let go. And so another maybe a couple of weeks go by and he says, well, why don't you send it and tweak it a little bit and say this or that, and you can do this. And, you know, and so I sent another email off, and again, it was the same thing. It's the same answer. And so I went home and I prayed about it, and God said to me, just because you can't do it at Teen Challenge doesn't mean I don't want you to do it. And I'm like, oh, wow. And so I go in the next day and I talk to the CEO, Pastor Rich Sherber. Love that man. Okay. And I said, Pastor Rich, this is what, when I went to God last night, and this is what he told me, just because I can't do it here doesn't mean he doesn't want me to do it. So he wants me to do this. And he says, no, Dave, hold on. I'll get everybody on the same page. Nobody in 15 years has stepped up to do something like this, and we need this. You know, you're the first person.
Do you think he never saw the email, had a chance to see your email that came in?
I don't know. Maybe.
Okay. So then
But he wants to advocate for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so this is the CEO.
This is the CEO. Yep. And so he goes about, you know, talking to everybody and then getting everybody on, you know, signed up. Yeah. And so they said, okay, we're going to create a position. I was going to be the men's aftercare chaplain. Right. Yeah. And so, and then they're going through some work, and I'd see Pastor Rich and he goes, how are they coming on this? Have you heard? And I said, no, I haven't heard anything yet, you know. And I had another guy, Tom Rose, who was very instrumental in having everything kind of come together. I would run things by him and he would ask me, and he'd just be patient, Dave. God's working it all out. Don't worry about anything, you know. God's got this thing, you know. And he was just reassuring to me. And so anyhow, finally they came to me and they said, okay, we got the contract for you, and we'd like to meet with you. I'm like, okay. And so we went into Pastor Rich's office, and then they said, oh, here's the thing. Here's the contract, and it would be a raise for me, you know. And but here's the caveat. We have another department called community outreach that goes into the jails and the detoxes. So that we don't want you going in there because we don't want to create a conflict.
Right.
And I'm like, okay. And so I had a check in my spirit when they said it, and I went home and I prayed about it. And this is what God said to me. I want you to go where I'm going to send you, not where man tells you you can or cannot go.
No roadblocks.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, God, I'm going to do it your way. I've never done it your way. I've never been all in.
Right.
And Like all in means all in.
Yeah.
Right. And so that I went in the next day and I said to my boss at the time, I can't take this position. She goes, what are you going to do? And I said, I need to sit down at my computer and write a letter of resignation. And she's like, wow, okay, go ahead. So that's what I did. I sat and I wrote this letter of resignation to the same people I met the day before with, offering me this great job.
Moved everything around. To
Yeah,
try to
they did everything for me. Yeah.
Coordinate this, but with some roadblocks.
Yeah.
Hey, you can do what you want, except
listen, they were really good to me.
I was gonna say you're being really kind about the way you're explaining this, and I'm gonna come at it a different angle and say some things like, so you went in there with this great idea, told them what you wanted, and they said sure, but we're gonna say you can do it how you want, except for because you want to reach anyone that if I'm reading between lines, you want to reach any of the lost sheep.
Yes.
Let's just say this.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they're saying, yeah, you can,
Yeah.
but not the ones that are
Yeah.
in jails or not the ones that are
Yeah.
this or that. And if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken, when you went to Sherber, you basically told him like, hey, I got to get going because I got to do this. And he said, nope, I'm going to make this happen for you.
Yeah, he did say that.
Yeah.
No, he's the one who gave me a lot of direction even after, wasn't going to be there. So anyways,
I'm not trying to reword what you're saying. I know you're not you've highly talked of everyone so far at Teen Challenge very highly. They've helped you out.
Yeah, no, they did everything that they could.
Yep.
They tried to accommodate me.
Yeah.
They did everything for me.
Right.
Yeah. So I have no complaints about how they treated it. So I wrote the letter of resignation, and then before I left, my boss at the time said to me, this is very weird, like stereo, right? You're hearing something from two different, okay. She's saying the words to me, and I'm hearing it in my head from God at the same time. She said, you could have your own ministry, and it could be Lost Sheep Ministries. And I'm like, oh, God, this is it. He confirmed it simultaneously, right? It just like, I get it, God. You want me to do this thing, and I'm going to do it your way. And so this is your ministry, God, going forward. And so
When was this? This was
that's
2000.
2019.
Okay.
Yeah. And so, and we're coming up on 8 years.
Nice.
Okay.
Hang on. I
Yeah.
love my buttons. I love them. Well, we used to sit
Yeah.
here and do this. And
Yeah.
the guy came in and said,
Yeah.
you got the
Yeah.
LX8. You can
Yeah. Yeah. So, you know what? To God be the glory, because he's the one who shaped this whole thing. He's the one that, even spoke it into me. And all I did was listen and obey. And I found that if we will do that, if we listen and obey, if he knows the plans he has for us, why wouldn't we listen and obey?
Right.
So he kept it simple for me. I didn't have to fret about things because he's in charge. He's my boss. He's going to take care of everything. So it was beautiful. And so I called my sister that day and I said, I live with my sister. I said, yeah, Kathy, I just quit my job. And she goes, you did not. I said, yeah, I did. And she goes, no. And I said, Kathy, I really did. And she goes, why? And I'm like, well, I'll tell you when I come home. And so, I had packed up my office and I left, and that was it. And so I'm on my own. And so this is where it gets really weird. So that's August. And then it's like September, October, November. It's like November, I don't know, maybe 10th or something like that. Right.
Yep.
And,
Go ahead.
okay. I had a knock at my door, right? And my dog goes wild. And so I go to the door and go outside, and here's a FedEx package. And I bring it in and open it up, and here it is. It's a contract to be Santa Claus. And I had been Santa with another firm, okay? And I was sent out to Prussia, Pennsylvania, and Philadelphia Mills. And that company got acquired by another company. Okay. And so I opened this thing up and I'm like, I called the lady who sent it and I said, call me as soon as you get this message. And so she called me the next morning and she said, yeah, I just need to know what airport you want to leave out of. I said, ma'am, you cannot send me a contract without ever talking to me.
Right.
And she goes, no, we've talked. And I said, no, this is our very first conversation. Check your database and see if there's another David Johnson. And sure enough, that was it. There was another David Johnson they merged these two companies together, and I got his contract. So I knew how much he made. Right. I knew what they're going to do. They're going to fly him out. They're going to get in the car, and it's like, wow, this is a pretty good gig he's got, but I got it all squared away with him. And then she says to me, well, what about you? And I said, what do you mean? What about me? She goes, do you want to go out? I said, well, where? And she goes, Newport Beach, California. And I'm like, let me think about that for a minute. Like winter in Minnesota or Newport Beach? Yeah, I want to go out. And then she says, can you send me some recent pictures of you? And so I sent her a bunch of pictures. And then she says, when can you go? And I said, well, I can be ready in like 3 or 4 days. And, so they sent me out. And, so I negotiated this whole thing. I said, I knew how much he was getting paid. So I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Right. And then they were going to fly me out. And then they're going to give me a car.
Mhm.
They're going to put me up in a hotel.
Nice.
It's a great location. And so then I said, what about per diem for food? And she goes, in 30 years, we've never done that. And I said, oh, that's too bad. So she just kind of got like, wow, he's not going to do it, And so she goes, well, what if we just increase your salary by $3,000? Would that cover it? And I'm like, let me see, 6 weeks out there, 3,000. Yeah, I guess that'll just cover it. So
6 weeks?
6 weeks. And so I made more money in 6 weeks than I would have made in 6 months had I had the job at, Teen Challenge. Yeah. So God was, once again, he's Jehovah Jireh.
Right.
He's our provider. He provided for me before I even asked. I didn't ask for it. Okay. All the things that happened at the Salvation Army, I didn't ask for any of that. I didn't ask to teach that class. I didn't ask to be a counselor. Then they asked me if I'd be on the advisory council there. I'm like, wow. So there's 3 things I didn't ask for that just like, God's using you, and we want to tap into this. So, yeah, anyhow, God is so good. And we launched Sheep Ministries. Pastor Rich, once again, he helped me, gave me great, counsel, because it's like I had a church that I was attending that wanted me to come under them, so that was one scenario. And then the other one, there was another ministry that said, okay, we'd like to have you come under here, and then we'll just take a cut of whatever, And then Pastor Rich said, no, Dave, you need to have your own 501c3.
Right.
And that's what we have. We're a 501c3. We only really thrive by contributions that people make to this ministry. And we had to change our.
With that said, at www.loststreetministriesintl.org, is that where people can go to donate?
Yeah.
Okay.
So www.lostsheepministriesintl.org, and then you'll see there's a donate button. You could donate there. And we're really looking for people who'd love to give on a monthly basis, so we know, what we're dealing with. Yeah. Every time I fill my vehicle up, it's $50. And one time I had to travel 732 miles in a day to get a guy. Okay? So those people they're all important to God. He doesn't want anyone to be lost, right? Yeah. So
I've got some side. I'm going to interrupt again. Yeah. First, we got Gilbert, who says, "Love you, Dave, and thanks for never giving up on
Gilly.
me." Yes,
love you too, Gilly.
And Jacob too. Like I said, he's a brother, and I think you've got an accumulated over 1,000 miles picking him up from places over the last dozen years, whatever.
Yeah.
But yes. So this all came about you listening to your higher power.
Yeah, absolutely.
It wasn't you out here asking,
no,
God, give me
nothing,
this, that.
Nothing. I never wanted to have a ministry. I never thought of having a ministry. But when he laid it on me that day, I knew, okay, this is it.
Right.
This is what you called me to do. And, there's been things that have happened. My daughter's here. She can attest to it. I was at her house for Christmas. Right? This is really a cool story. And this lady that I've been trying to help, and she's backed out. I brought her to detox once, and it was at a time when I had just done Santa. I was in my Santa suit, and I picked her up, and I brought her
Santa.
Santa. I brought her to, the detox, and there was a guy who knew me who said, "Hey, he came over and talked to me there." Anyways, it was wild. But okay, so then, she went back out there after that, and just like Jake did many times,
Cunning, baffling, and powerful.
it is. But
Jeez.
that guy's got a story like none other. You've probably heard it.
Oh,
Yeah. I took him, I picked him up. I don't want to.
Listen, I'm going to preface this before you can go because
Yeah.
you're good. We talked about it, and
Yeah.
he came on and shared a lot of dark things about what's happened with him.
Yeah.
He's an open book,
Yeah.
and he has given us the okay to
Yeah.
talk about
Yeah.
Jake.
Yeah,
And-
I won't say a whole lot,
but
but
go ahead.
what I will say is that he's a stand-up guy. He's honest.
Yeah.
He's honest. He doesn't lie to me. And
Even when it's bad.
Yeah, no,
I
he'll
know
tell
that.
me the truth.
Yep,
He'll
yep.
I respect him for that so much. But I picked him up. He was staying at a sober house, and he said, "I need to go to detox, Dave." So I went and to pick him up, and then they brought me back to his room, and there's bottles all over and stuff. And here he is on his bed, and he's bouncing off of his bed. He's like having seizures on his bed. They finally we get him up, and get him out to my vehicle. And then I was going to take him to detox. He said, on the way, he's like, "Dave, I'm dying." And I took him to Abbott Northwestern Hospital. And, it was when COVID was going on.
Yeah.
And they got him into a wheelchair and they took him into the hospital and stuff. But he blew a .52. I've never heard of anybody that has done it. I've been doing this for over 25 years. He's the highest I've ever experienced. But I love Jake, and he knows I do. And we actually have the same tattoo. I took him to get this tattoo, and Jen was the first person to have the tattoo. It's not an option. And I was doing a class at the Salvation Army called Kick It with Dave, and I'd been thinking about all the guys that had died, and then God put it on my heart to talk about it that day. And so I said, I wish I would have had one to talk to these guys and maybe tell them, if you have a tattoo, maybe put it on your arm. Like, it's not an option. And it's a reminder. It's like, no, you know what's going to happen if you do that. It's not an option. Don't do that. Right. And as soon as I said that, there were 12 guys who said, "I want to get that tattoo." And I said, "Come on up here. I want to take your picture." And I took a picture of these 12 guys. That was on a Saturday. And I met Jen for lunch on a Tuesday. And on that Tuesday, I told her, "Jen, this is what happened over at the Salvation Army. And I don't know. These guys, it's like a movement. I couldn't understand, how I've never had that happen before, right?" And she said, "Oh, Dad, I get that tattoo." I said, "Really? You do it today?"
Right.
And she says, "Well, I have a appointment at 4:00. And I said, "Well, okay. Well, when we finish here, if I call the guy, room for anybody, take her." So I called him and he said, "Yeah, bring her in." And so brought her in, and she was the first person to get that tattoo. Sorry, I bumped this thing.
I mean, you're fine.
Yeah, we went to No Joke Tattoo.
Yeah, No Joke Tattoo. Chris Cavillo. I mean, he does a great job over there. He's got 7 tattoo artists over there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Where is that?
It's over
It's in White Bear Lake.
like yeah.
Nice.
So we've determined that it is what comes between you and a relationship with God.
Yeah.
It's like that creepy clown from It, right?
I get it.
He's the bad dude. So
I like that. I like that.
and for me, it was drinking, because whenever I would drink, it would cause me to want to end my life.
So
And
take you down deep,
and
dark.
and that's not whenever I would drink, because I had a great time drinking. I was an expert level drinker.
There's a reason you did it so much. It was some fun.
And I had a great time until I didn't. Right?
Yeah.
We had a great time party. I was a good partier. I was a party girl, right?
Right.
So, and that would happen like once, maybe twice a year. But when is that once or twice a year that I want to end my life and actually end up ending my life?
Life's too precious.
Yeah, it is.
It really is.
Well, we were talking about, this lady. Okay. And this lady that I brought to detox, and then she came out, she was drinking again. Well, here it is. It's Christmas, and I'm at Jen's house having a Christmas dinner. And I get this call from this lady saying, okay, I'm ready. I really am ready. Christmas.
All right.
And I say, I got to go to my family. I got to go. And they're like, Dad.
That gets frustrating because, you know, it's like, can't you just like have a day
Just
off?
tonight.
Right?
Yeah.
It's actually
And-
Christmas.
So I've had to have talks with my kids because they're like, Dad, you love those addicts and alcoholics more than us, you know?
And it's an understandable feeling.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I get it. And I try to tell them, I said, this isn't like a job.
Right.
This is a call. Absolutely. It's like when God called me to do this thing, it's like, God, I don't want to disappoint you. I want to do everything that you called me to do. I don't want to say no to anything that you put in front of me, you know? And so here's the thing. That day I left and I drove down, it was on Lake Street in Hiawatha.
Mm.
Okay. And so when I'm driving down there, there's like 30 or 40 cop cars, all these lights, you know. 2 people have been shot and killed underneath that bridge that day, right? And so I go over to where and I had to do a detour, you know, in order to get to where she was. And I go over there and she's not there. I'm calling her. Finally, she comes down. She goes, oh, I forgot something. I have to go back upstairs. And so she goes upstairs. She doesn't come down. And I wait 20 minutes. And finally, the last time I had 18 minutes, I said, you have 2 minutes to come down. If you're not down here, I'm out of here. And that was it.
It's everywhere.
Yeah, place wherever. Oh, it's a block and a half away from where they're. Anyhow, and then I go back to the house and we finish dinner and stuff like that. But they're all shaking their head at me and stuff, you know.
See, Dad, you didn't need to go.
Yeah, right.
But you know what? For your point of view, and I understand this, is that one time you don't go and then they die.
Yeah,
Or that one time you don't go. And
yeah. I don't want that on me, and I don't want anyone to die because I didn't act on it, right? And so this is a blessing. Okay, Cherish was with me this week, and I had Terry Whiting is all with me as well, and we went down and we spoke at Teen Challenge down in Rochester, and then afterwards we met with another guy, Scott, and we had breakfast down there, and but before we had breakfast, okay, she wanted to go see the women's side, right? So we talked to the men, but she wanted to go over to the women's side, so we go over to the women's side. Why don't you go ahead and share this part?
Oh, that's amazing because I wanted to share the story. I walked in there and we do one of the staff ladies from back when I was there. And anyways, this other gal was a recovery coach, and she says, "Hey, are you Dave?" And from Lost Sheep Ministries, and he's like, "Yeah." And she's like, she says something to me. He says, "Yeah, I've helped your brother before or something, and your and your sister." And she's like, "No, that was me." And he recognized her because
it was
that person
that
said
girl. She didn't have a sister. It was her. She was saying, "This is my name," and I went, "Oh, I helped your sister," because she looked so different. She was skinny from using meth. Okay, now she's a employee at the challenge, you know, and she's healthy looking and she looked great. And we took a picture of us, you know. I'm like, I can't even believe it. Yeah, it was a miracle. It was so nice.
It's a payoff. To me,
it is a
that's the
payoff.
type of stuff that's the payoff.
Yeah, it is. No question about
she
it.
had tried to get a hold of him before because she wanted to let him know.
Yeah.
And wasn't able to, but that day she was sorry. She was.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah, it was beautiful. So, I mean, the ministry has been growing. People have stepped up and wanted to be a part of it. Jen's, you know, this thing again. She, you know, is she's done all the things. She's, you know, been involved with alcohol, with drugs, you know, with suicidal things. She put a apostrophe at the end of her, you know. It's not an option.
Nice. Possibly there
Because my life continues.
There we go.
Right?
There we go.
Like a sentence ends,
Yeah.
the semicolon continues.
Yep.
Yeah, tell them what happened when you called me and then you called Spencer and
I don't know how much time we have on
All
the
this-
show.
we can go 10 hours. This is your show. I'm just a conduit to hear the story. As long as you guys want this, we are. I'll put the Bible. We'll start wrapping. Typically, we go hour and a half to 2 hours, 2.5 hours. However it goes, we're
Okay.
good.
So okay. First off, I'm actually this Sunday I will be celebrating my third wedding anniversary.
Hey, Jim. Hey.
And my,
Yeah.
Yeah, hit the button.
my husband and I have 3 children together. The first one we chose to have. Actually consciously chose to get pregnant and have a child before we got married. So everybody always thinks, oh, it's a different relationship. It's not. Anyway, so our 3 boys. At any rate, I learned that my middle child, who was having an attitude with me and against me, he hated seeing me drunk. There's something about it, like somehow it was okay to see dad drunk, but it wasn't okay to see mom drunk.
Uh-huh.
And it made his blood boil to the point where he didn't want to have a relationship with me if I was drinking. And ultimately, I had to make a decision. And I had a really bad experience one night, and I just was done. I think what happens is you stop caring, and you just say, "F it, I don't care anymore." It's like it's exhausting to continue. And so here I am. I'm coming home. I wanted a hug. I had a bad day. You need to like get away from me because he doesn't want anything to do with me because I'm drunk. Not because I personally did something to him. Well, so I'm like, you know what? I am your mother. You live in my house. If I'm talking to you, you don't get to be rude like this. You're the child, right?
Right.
And so I was having conflict with how he was speaking to me because truthfully, you don't speak to your parents like that. But he didn't care, and it escalated to the point where, okay, I will get out of your face. I will get out of your room, and I'll never come back. You'll never see me again. And so I left. And that night I had an argument with my husband. I had an argument with him, and I left had a jar of moonshine. I mean, just went and loaded up. I was going to go, and I was already intoxicated. I lost $1,000 gambling that night. It was a bad night. But anyway, I start driving down the road, and I stop in a parking lot just a mile down, and I'm like, I can't just leave without saying goodbye to people. What am I thinking? So something came upon me that I was like, I have to at least say goodbye, and then I can carry on. So I start one by one, like calling people.
Wait a sec. I am interrupting. You mean, were we talking about suicide?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And again, anyone listening, 988, we're going to start talking about this stuff, but reach out to that number if you're having these type of thoughts. Keep going.
Yeah, because I was determined to end my life. I didn't know what was going to happen, honestly, but I knew it wasn't going to be good. I was going to either end up in jail or dead.
Okay.
Facts.
Yeah.
And I think God knew that I was serious too. I had just to get to a point where it's a boiling point, and that's it. So I start saying goodbye, and then oh gosh, my oldest son, I have to call him. He wasn't even home. I gotta, and so I go through this process of calling people, and next thing you know, my son's coming up to try to stop me. I pulled, dad out of bed, and I'm like, bring him here. I want nothing to do with him now. And so I just, I'm done. I get in the car and I go back out to leave. And as I back out, all of a sudden, I'm like, something's not right. And I was in a 2021 Subaru Crosstrek. So it's not like it's an old beat-up car where you'd expect there to be issues with it. I've never had one issue with it. Back up, and I'm like, I got to repark. Something's not right. I repark, get out of my car, and I have a flat tire. God says, that's not in the cards tonight, honey. So that's what happened. And but
divine intervention.
Yeah, it was a divine intervention for sure. So needless to say, that ended my party, and I went home. And then I got up. I was at work, and this was at, I don't know, it had to have been like 3 a.m. I had to be at work the next day at 8 o'clock in the morning. I showed up for work, and I just couldn't function. My dad and my aunt came up, and my boss at the time sat down with me, and I said, I'm just so tired. I'm like, yeah, you gotta be okay.
Right.
You gotta not be here. So I went over to their house. I went to sleep, and then my mom, when I woke up, my mom came and got me, and she brought me to the hospital. Anyways, I ended up spending Christmas and New Year's. Was it Christmas too? No, just New Year's in psych ward. Yep. And it kept me safe, so that was good. But this is what happens, and then it didn't end there. Like I got out of there, and I came home, and my son wouldn't talk to me. He wouldn't talk to me for 3 weeks, and it was killing me inside. And I realized at that point where this is the situation I created for myself, that I had a decision to make. Do you value your fun party times, or do you value a relationship with your son more? And that hard truth just smacked me in the face, and I was desperate to get my son to talk to me. I'm like, I'm not going to drink again because I choose you over that. And I had some animosity about it because I'm like, you know what? I'm an adult. I'm 21 or older. I'm legal to do it. Who are you to tell me that I can't do something that legally I can do? Well, the difference is when I do it, sometimes I end up wanting to end my life. When I do it, sometimes I turn into this person that my son despises. And in all reality, what it is separation from a relationship with Jesus Christ.
Talent.
So when you choose to drink, when you choose to use drugs, when you choose to engage in anything that is nefarious at all, that is sinful in nature, you're choosing Satan over Christ. You're choosing that creepy clown over a relationship with Jesus Christ and ultimately eternity in heaven one day. And you know what the thing is? Just make up your dang mind. Make up your mind. If you are on the fence and you are thinking, you know what? I have such a good time most of the time. I'll just get over this one, weekend of feeling cruddy, and now all of a sudden I'm feeling better. Things are back on course. Okay, I'm caught up on my bills again. But then all of a sudden, we're gonna go party again. Okay, here we go. So we just re-engage in exactly what you had felt so awful about. So this cycle is just ridiculous, and that is what Satan uses to take you down. And all you need to do is recognize that you are being faced with a decision. There are these crossroads that come across your life all the time. All the time. It's not just one crossroad in your life where, my dad decided, I'm going to become obedient now. Multiple times in his life and in mine and in yours, you have a decision to make. Do I want to follow Jesus and do the right thing? Or do I want to follow the ways of the world and go down that path of satanic ideology? And just everything that's in the world today is just, if you're following all the rap artists or heavy metal groups that they use the symbolism that glorifies Satan, and if that's your lifestyle, you're choosing that over Jesus, over peace, and over freedom. So it's not about going to an AA meeting or some kind of addictions anonymous, gambling help, whatever. It's not about that. It's those meetings. Okay, they might keep you sober because you're going to one meeting after the other, white knuckling it through it because you just attended a meeting. Okay, I'll just go to another meeting tomorrow. I'm having this. I'm going to go to another meeting. It's not about that. Jesus sets you free. You don't even need meetings. You just need Jesus. That's it. And if we just dumb it down and make it that easy, it's not that hard. It's not that hard.
I think that, people need to have some structure too and have the support. Community is everything.
Amen to that.
When you have community
Connection.
Yeah, the connections. That's the community that you got going. Coming in here,
Lifestyle.
we looked in the meeting that was going on. They're having a ball in there, having so much fun in there, Yeah, but that's why people come back. They're at a show.
connection.
Yeah.
Well, you need
exactly.
that because you liked partying in the first place. Guess what? Did you know you can party sober?
A lot of us didn't. A lot of us didn't. I didn't know that until I got here. And you know what? So everyone's got their own story. Everyone's got their own journey.
Yeah.
People sometimes have to figure out the hard way. Some
Yep.
don't. Some
Yep.
die. And for some people's stories is these meetings brought them to God.
Yeah.
Whatever it takes.
Yeah.
But sometimes God brought them to meetings.
Mhm.
I don't know. I've over the last 10 years for me, your story's yours. What worked for you, sweet. Might not have worked for Dave. It worked for Dave.
So true.
I mean, and that's,
Yep.
and I don't know. For the first few 4 or 5 years, I was telling people this is the only way it's going to work.
Mhm.
The only way it's going to work for you, Dave, is if you do what I did.
Yeah.
And that was just a mindset I had for a while
Sure.
until I started doing this show. And I listened
Yeah.
now to over 600 people's stories.
Mm.
Some people
Beautiful.
found Buddhism.
Mm-hmm.
That's what got them a new life. Some
Mhm.
people, it was transcendental meditation. A lot of people came in the church. A lot of people, it was NA or AA. Or, I
Yeah.
mean, and I just say, I know it worked for me. I know it worked for Tim.
Yeah.
And I've learned the hardest way for myself is once I put my finger in their face and was like, this is the only way it's going to work for you. They
Mhm.
shut down and turn on.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
some of them have died.
Yeah.
I had to be real careful about that. And now today it's like, if you ask me what worked for me, I'll tell you.
Mm.
And I'll preach about what works for me. But I'm careful for myself to tell someone how they got to do it. I just,
Yeah. Well, you know,
The meetings they teach you behaviors,
yeah,
right?
that's-
And because it is a behavior that we've learned to party. So, and I I apologize to everybody who's listening if it came across like I was down on meetings.
apologize.
I'm not saying that meetings are bad
No, don't
'Cause-
apologize.
because
Listen,
I go every Monday night. I have a Celebrate Recovery group that I attend. I like it. It brings me closer to God and provides fellowship. So
you made it real clear. Jesus Christ is the answer. You made that clear. There's nothing wrong with that. Don't ever apologize for that.
there you go.
This is your story, girl.
Yeah.
Seriously, straight up. And if
Yeah.
I really kind of opened my eyes to a lot about this a couple elections ago or something with people in their politics.
Oh yeah.
I realized like the different types. Someone who got pissed at me for not seeing it the way they saw it.
Mhm.
They get pissed, like mad and angry.
Yeah.
Some not even talk to me.
Yeah.
Okay. But then there's others that they're okay with whatever I believe, good enough.
Yeah.
They know what they believe.
Yeah.
And that's cool.
Not threatened by it.
Yeah, whatever. And
Mhm.
that's some shit happened with my recovery. Something similar to that was for a while. It's because I found something that had worked for me. So I'm like, no, you got it all wrong.
Mhm.
This is how you do it.
Mhm.
I mean, and I've had guys on this show. He had 22 years. He was slamming it. The only way you're gonna stay sober and happy is if you do the 12 steps of alcohol.
Wow.
I mean, and he was passionate about it.
Yeah.
And I know part of my things. I know I shit the cereal by saying it. I was like, buddy, that's what worked for you.
Yeah.
Like that's your story.
bravo.
But like the way he was saying it, like I know some
Yeah.
junkie kid who was listening was like, hey,
Yeah.
and I was a heroin junkie. I put my recovery. It's just how it worked. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
But like I said, the chicken or the egg, I already know what brought me to the rooms, but my higher power was because I those rooms.
Mhm.
That's just my story though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And everyone's got their story. What works? Never apologize.
Yeah.
Never apologize, damn it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But seriously, and what you said is valid. I agree with you, 100%. I agree with you. I'd say there is someone who listen without breaking anything with me. 2 different people close to me in the last 3 weeks relapse. Been in these rooms for
Yeah.
one 22 years, and the other one he's been trying this for about 3 years now. And the one he was just got done bringing 2 different people to detox, doing meetings every day of service work. Couldn't figure out why he ended up losing about $1,500 and ended up somewhere he didn't know where he was at. Who he is, and you know what I'm saying?
Happens.
It's cunning, baffling, and powerful.
Yep. Exactly.
So right now I'm on my pedestal.
So, I mean,
I
just-
agree with you.
it brings me back though to some of the sad things that have happened. There was a guy, his name is Charlie, and he his mom called me and said, my son's really in trouble. Can you reach out to him? This is at Teen Challenge.
Can you save him?
No, not that I can save him, but would I help him?
But I mean, and I know I'm interrupting him because I started talking to someone on the side, but it's happened to me, and I'm not saying this is what occurred to you, but I've had parents reach out to me like, they don't come out and say, "Will you save my kid?" But
Yeah.
Hey, I know you got the answer. Will you please call him?
Yeah.
If they don't want it, I can't force.
No,
I
that's
can't
right.
force that lady
They
to
have
come
to-
down in 2 minutes from the bridge.
Oh, I had one of those too.
I mean, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So what had this a mom called you? I'm not saying that
Yeah,
happened. That's got to weigh heavy on you sometimes.
Yeah, no, and so I helped him get into Teen Challenge, and he graduated. He did good, and then he went back out there, and then she called me again and said he's out there, and he's in worse shape now than he was before. I'm like, okay, and so what's his new number? Gives me the number, and I reach out to him and said, Charlie, how about coming into the Salvation Army? And he hemmed and hawed. It's like, I don't need anything like that. It's like, what? It'll turn your life around. And so he agreed. He came in there, and he was doing really well. And, then he got towards the end, and he just got to the point where he went out and found some fentanyl, and got really high, and he came back into the building, and they could tell you're off. Something's
Right.
going on. We need to do a UA, and you're testing positive now. Now you can't come into the building. And so he was discharged, and then he went back out there, and he was like shape. And then he came back 2 days later. And normally they'll have at least 2 weeks between.
Right.
When you're,
That you re-enter.
yeah, you can come back in 2 weeks. Anyways, in 2 days they let him come back in because he's in such bad shape. Well, unbeknownst to them, he smoked more fentanyl in, and he smoked it in a foil up in his room, and that was it. He died there at the Salvation Army. And yeah, they had all the guys come together, and they were in the chapel, and the coroner had to come cart and get him out of there. And it was a horrible thing. And I just think on that, and it's just the nicest kid too, and everybody loved him. And so those two guys, both young guys, they really influenced my ministry, Noah and Charlie, and that is like, nobody is that far gone that you don't go for them.
Oh,
You go for all of them, and so that's what God's done, is he's put this kind of sense of everyone's important to God. And if I hear about it, there's only one reason I'm hearing about it, because he said, you're it now. And so a lot of people know my number, I'm on Facebook as David Johnon. And I have Sheep Ministries, INTL. We have a Facebook page there. And so, and my phone number's all over there. And so I get calls, 12 years at the Salvation Army, 5 years at the Teen Challenge. So there are a lot of people who know me. And I get calls all over the day, and I try to answer my phone all the time. Now, recently, we had a lot of people calling. If I don't see a name attached, just this last 3 days, it's like there's these scammers.
yeah.
And I don't want to, not pick up my phone, but I'm sick and tired of that. My sister said, well, they get money every time you pick up the phone. And I'm like, no, well, it's not going to pick up the phone unless there's a name attached to it, right? Yeah, So
Yeah, they spoof these calls and they make it look like a number close to where
Yeah,
you live. or
exactly.
something.
Yeah. So,
Jake told me, he was like, Tim, no matter, it was weird. I learned his number, and it was the only number, no matter how drunk I was. We're talking about the guy going fives.
yeah.
Death.
Yeah.
He's like, I can remember his number.
Yep. That's right.
I have it. It's etched into my brain.
There's so many that have it. People call me from jail that can't remember their parents' number or anything. Jen's number. Whoops, there I go again. Jen's number is the only number that I know. I couldn't. If somebody said, "Your life depends upon you calling your son right now," go ahead and kill me.
Yeah. That says a
Same.
lot for your relationship. Though,
Yeah. I love my son. He's the same one.
And for your daughter, I wasn't. That could have been bad. You're probably like, oh, it shows what you know. With her, you guys have a bond or whatever.
Well, she's kind of, then the one who's recognized what I do. You know, it was interesting. I was speaking at Metro Hope one day, and I brought Jen and my sister there. And so halfway through my talk, this guy in the back row raises his hand, and he said, "Hey, did they have more than one Dave Johnson at Teen Challenge?" And I said, "No." And he goes, "Well, you saved my life." I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "I called in there." He said, "I loaded a rig up. I was going to take myself out. And I called in there. It's just like last chance, right? You answered the phone and you talked to me so nice and you prayed for me and you gave me hope. I didn't want to die anymore." And, you know, and then Jen was there and she's, and then God put it on my heart. Ask people in the room, how many of you have been helped by my ministry? If you would stand up, you know, and about 25, 30 guys stood up at Metro Hope. And Jen says to me, "Dad, I had no idea the impact that you're having out there." You know, so it was like a wake up call, you know, that she could see it firsthand. And yeah, anyhow, God's been at work, and, you know, so there's some other things that he's done. First of all, he gave us a house, actually 2 houses on 9.5 acres of land down in Mountain Lake, Minnesota. It's 2.5 hours south of the cities here. And somebody from my church asked me, "Would you be interested in this?" And I went, "Well, yeah." And so he puts me in touch with the owner, and he said, "We've already got 3 ministries involved with this. You know, are you interested in it?" Well, yeah. And he said, "What do you know?" I said, "Just that you have 2 houses on 9.5 acres of land." And he goes, "Well, one of the houses is a 3-story brick Victorian house, and it's been fully restored and everything in it. It could be the movie set for any Hollywood movie. It's so beautiful."
Right.
I'm like, "Wow." And he goes, "And there's a river right behind the house." Oh, and so I said, "Yeah, we're very interested." And so he said, "You have to get all this information together." And I'm like, "Okay, I'm on this." And so that's what I did. And I was all over that. I got the information, and then he said, "Okay, here's the thing. The first ministry, they said they couldn't possibly get all the information in time, and so they had to back out. The second ministry, they said, you know, we just we don't feel like it's a good fit right now for us." But then the third ministry, they loved it. They came and they stayed in the house. They're an international ministry. Bunch of people stayed in the house, a 5-bedroom house. And so they said they prayed. And as they prayed, they said they heard God say that this house should go to Lost Sheep Ministries. And so they told that to the owner, and the owner said, "You're the last one standing, so the house is yours, but we have to have this other stuff done. You have to inspect the sewage system and you know, all that stuff, and get, you know, appraised and whatnot." So we went through that whole process, and then it's like, yeah, the whole house got turned over to us, and we tried it different ways.
Just turned over to you?
They gave it to us for free. Yeah. Thank you, God.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. And so what happened is we're involved. The president of our board is Marjorie Cole, and she's had a ministry called Life Recovery for, you know, many years.
So far.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it is.
So,
Got a shofar going on here.
And
That's
he's
cool.
staying here. The
Wow.
best you guys end up.
Yeah, I think God's calling us.
This guy's got one of the biggest hearts I've ever felt.
Yeah,
that is so cool.
Yeah.
Be in here.
yeah.
But no, okay, the
Wow.
Marjorie Cole.
okay.
Yeah, and liferecovery.com. You can go there and check it out. But she is.
That's awesome.
Pretty girl.
Yeah.
To go get more soap.
No, I got a couple right there. I got some on the shelf for us, Chucky.
Oh, nice.
Hi, baby.
I love showing up. We're just in support of his. You hang up.
Go with us.
Okay. We're live as
What's your name?
matter of fact, Chucky, you know what to do. Come on in.
Chucky. are.
Oh, you guys are.
Chuck or Chucky?
Chuck.
Figure out. Right here, I'm gonna slide behind you. Or Chuck. And Chuck's gonna slide in. All right, go ahead and belly up.
These bubbers.
So you're telling us
This is your
about
baby?
Margie and the board. She had a ministry called
Lost Sheep Ministries. I'm not. She's
Recovery.
no, get me. No, Life Recovery.
Life Recovery.
Yeah, Life Recovery. Yeah, and so anyway, she's the president of our board, and she's done a great job. We had to have a board. It's like, okay, who should I have? And got to put my mind. She's been involved with me, or I've been involved with her ministry. She's probably, I don't know, over 25 years, maybe 30 years, and I guess 25 years. So anyhow, I asked her if she'd be the president. She said yes. So, but initially what we did with the house is we put on these retreats, women's retreats, and Cherish had gone to the retreat. And it would be like 3 days down there. A bunch of ladies come down there, like 10, 15 ladies, and they would do just stuff with spiritual warfare, deliverance, healing, restoration. It was amazing, but we weren't utilizing the property, enough. And so then, yeah,
Whatever. Yeah.
right. And so then what we decided is like, well, maybe what we should do is turn it over and have it be for women. And so the board said, yeah, let's try that. So we opened it up to women, and we had, some women that came in, and we had some using that went on, drinking. And so it was a zero tolerance, place. And so we said, you got to go,
Right.
This doesn't work. And so after that, we had at the last retreat, there was a guy who wanted to come and stay in the house, go and stay with his mom. And so I said, okay, you can come down there, but I'm going to have to go stay. So I stayed down there for a month. I'm going to have him down there by himself. And he got a job down there, and he was doing well and stuff, but I had to come back, and it was over Father's Day. And so I was going to be gone a whole week because I had 3 speaking engagements. And then it was Father's Day. I was going to be with my kids. And so, but as soon as I left, his mom called him, and then he sounded bad on the phone. So she drove 5.5 hours down and get him and took him home with her. And so he left. And, I had a friend, his name's Jimmy, who had called me, and he and his wife had gone down to be with his brother, who ended up dying. But they were down there trying to support him. And then they were driving back, and he said, you know of a place where we can go? And I went, well, I really don't. I knew of our place, but there was somebody in there already.
Right.
And so that didn't work. So they drove all the way up to northern Minnesota, up by Fargo, and it was in Breckenridge, actually. And so then my sister said to me, what about that guy that you talked to? Would he and his family be okay now that guy's gone? And went, oh, yeah, that'd be perfect. So I called him, and they drove all that night. They drove, and they went to the house, and I told them where the key was, and he let himself in. And it's like, there you go. And so they've been there, for, I don't know, maybe 7 weeks or something like that.
Just keeping it up.
Just keeping it up. And he's got a job that's amazing now, and his wife has a job. And their daughter, she got these 2 friends. The daughter is 9 years old. Her name is Aurora. Hi, Aurora.
Yeah.
Anyways, and then, now today, he tells me they both, Danielle, his wife, and Aurora want to be baptized, and they want you to baptize them. And so I'm going to be going down, soon to baptize. But then he tells me that his daughter has these 2 girlfriends that are the same age. They go to a Christian school down there. It costs money to go to a Christian school, right? And they're like, well, we don't think we can do that, And then actually, we'll just see what God does, They got the word today that her, tuition has been paid in full for the year, So God is so good. Yeah, it just blew him away. And, the job that he's got, he loves his job. He's working for a farmer that has 35, maybe 34 acres of land, a big farmer down there, and he knows how to fix things, and he knows how to build things, and he knows how to drive semi and do all the equipment in the farm. So it's just worked out. They got established in the church. They're on the church softball team. They just went out on Sunday. They're having their last softball game, and somebody went out and bought them all new shirts, even for her daughter. So they're really happy. They're the answer to prayer. We don't have to be, going down there all the time.
Right.
They keep the grass out, all the upkeep of the house. So it's really beautiful. It's working out. So thank you guys for what you're doing down there. You're a real blessing, and God's the one who put that whole thing together. And just know that there's more blessings coming your way. You just keep, walking this out with God and putting Him first. Seek first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you. And that's what He's doing.
So here's
Amen.
what we're gonna do is I want to tell you a little bit about the facility down there, and I want to go a bit about it.
Yeah.
We're gonna take an intermission with Chucky here, and he's gonna tell you guys about what he does here. He's gonna tell you about his factory, and he's got a gift for you. He's gonna bless the show.
Amen, Chucky.
Already, I don't know where to start.
What do you think normal? What's upstairs? What is that place up there?
Folk factory upstairs.
What's the name of it?
I am Folk Stone Factory,
What do you do?
and we produce the armor of Yahweh, just Hebrew short form for Yahweh.
Yeah.
And the soap, it's anointed, and it comes with a message straight out of the Bible. And the soap itself, I don't know if you can see it. It's got the word of God. It has the word of God on it in Paleo Hebrew. So when you use it, you're literally spreading.
Wow.
And I always like to say the armor of Yah. It kills germs that would ordinarily be under your skin that cause incarceration.
Because the idea is that Chuck hopefully creates positions for people coming out of prisons and people in recovery or people looking for a job or something.
If I had the money and the land, I would hire people coming out of prison who are in recovery to make the soap. That's my whole business. Somebody says, "Hey, I like what you're doing. I got the land and I got a warehouse." And
How much does it cost to buy some of this from
I've always said, give what you can. If you got nothing, it's my gift to you. But sometimes people corner me and you're like, "Come on, just give me." I get $5, you know.
If you do, it's a normal thing.
But
You have a stand with all in bars and you can give money. Basically, he gets stuff.
like
you need to be doing something different about that. We'll talk about that another day.
like right now, I've got a sign up there that says $2 to $3, I think maybe $2 or $3, whatever. If you don't have money, you can just stop by and grab
There's
something.
been some amazing stories. I had a kid come in. I'm going to brief story and we bless the show. I had a kid come in. He's got custody of both his kids and he's in recovery, newly in recovery. Spent his last dime on the kids and whatever, and he came in here on a Friday night when we were at the other location. And he got on the show and he was sharing about it. He's like, "Man, things are tough right now. Took a shower today, couldn't even, I had no soap." And it was all the blue. He's like, "Here, I got to give the guests," and gave him some soap. Like, and this guy, Mike, I really wasn't a believer, but something happened that day. And I got putting soap in my hands through Chucky. And this guy's got a good heart. He's got a good mission.
Taking down the giant one soapstone at a time.
Yeah, but would you take less in the show you've done before?
So my higher power tells me that when I sound this horn, it's called the shofar. This is what the Hebrew Israelites used to take down the walls of Jericho. And tonight we're going to use it to take down the walls that are around us. And those could be the walls of hopelessness, rage, despair. And so when you hear this, I pray that those things fall off of you. Just like the walls down, I pray that anything negative or bad will come down around everyone who hears the sound of this. My higher power told me, said, Chuggy, when you sound this, God hears this right now, but when he hears this and the heavens are quiet, and when he hears this, it's so that he leans in. He gets his attention. Perfect. And this is the blessing that I also use when I make the soap. And
Because you pray over it.
I pray. Yep. And this is the prayer that I do that with, and it's also the prayer that Jesus would say over in fellowship. So I'm going to do that. When I get done doing it, you'll be familiar with the prayer, that it's the one that Jesus would pray over people with this prayer. So so done with no further ado, and it's the Sabbath today, so it's gonna be a little loud, and we're gonna summons God and open up the heavens.
Amen.
Amen.
Say I don't know. Shalom. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May he shine his face upon you and be gracious to you. And may he turn his face towards you. Give you peace. In Jesus' precious name, I pray. Amen.
Beautiful, Chucky, as
Love
always.
it. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Thank
Before you
you.
leave, to the audience, what are you grateful
Oh boy, that's a good question. I'm grateful for all the people that I have in my life. I'm grateful that I have a God that loves me, family and friends, and my loved ones and neighbors and I'm grateful for God and my family and my health and like a whole bunch of other stuff.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. I love you, and thanks for blessing the show. As
Super
always.
cool.
Thank you.
That was a treat.
I want to go and get you guys. Get on the show. Everyone has a bar. You have to open up. Is that right?
It's a good message, Chuck.
Yeah.
You know-
Did you ever put a bad message on?
No.
Okay, that's good.
Oh, Dave. You're good, Chuck.
Oh,
But you're gifting us, so I want to give you.
I wasn't expecting it, so
No,
thank,
I know.
it's a gift to the show
That's okay.
goers.
thank you very
Amen.
much. There's one of them has writing on both sides.
Yeah.
It's one the message got on both sides. Oh, yeah.
I think it was mine.
Oh, the 3%, but
Thank you.
and this is mine.
Yep, mine has-
So I love you. I love you, brother. Mwah. Thank you. All right, we'll see you a little later.
Oh, I love
Last
that.
time it's gonna be in, 'cause I'm a shofar and I don't blow it, nothing like that.
Yeah, boy, that was amazing.
I'll give you this.
Here's your sign from
Last
above.
night.
You matter.
Oh, you
You
got
held that long, huh?
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
God bless you.
and I wish I had.
Stop
I'll
it.
share it.
I love
If you want, send me it to my phone and I'll share it.
Sounds good.
You're all good. I love you too.
Kind of makes me want to come hang out here.
Good spot. You guys all through this place.
Shalom.
Shalom,
Shalom Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom. All right. Welcome to the house. Oh, I got
So something resonated with me with him sharing that soap factory that he
Yeah.
has. And I just recently had said, I think I shared this with you. I've been interviewing a lot of people for positions at my workplace.
Mhm.
And I said, it's really a shame that if you are a felon, you just immediately a no.
Mhm.
And
a lot of felon
There's-
friendly schools out there.
no, and there's no forgiveness. And it's like, you know what? You might have been 17 years old and made a mistake,
Uh-huh.
and you're paying for it for your entire adult life.
Yep.
And it's not right. It's not right.
I mean, you're right. You're 100% right, and it sucks, and it does. The side of things recovery is giving me to look at is how many people passed over that could have made such a difference at some of these
100%.
places. It's just what it is.
Yep.
And over time, that one bad apple. That's how companies look at it.
Yep.
The one time they gave that one guy a chance, and all of a sudden, your account is, what they've chose, but it's usually the case. Side note. This property, I
Yeah.
had a question about it.
Hmm.
So right now it's being tended and taken care of. And
Your
saved.
family.
Are you in work figuring something else out to be doing this eventually turning it into something, or is there
Well-
something to have a nice?
Yeah, I mean, there's been talk actually about the possibility of putting tiny homes on there.
9
Yeah, and something, and it specifically with men coming out of prison. So
Oh,
You know.
you said it's 2.5 hours out,
yeah,
so not too much further than the prison down there. No, and whatever. Just that's amazing, and it's amazing. I don't put it on you what needs to happen.
yeah, no, he will direct us
By
for
the
sure.
sound of everything that has,
Mhm.
let me put in your lap.
Yeah.
I want to hear a little bit of your story. Is that okay? That's all right. Are you okay sharing a little bit of your story?
Yeah. it's
Let's hear
okay.
it. Let's hear
We've been
it.
going for a minute, so
You
like,
guys
I
got a
don't know.
bathroom break? Go ahead.
I'm
Well, however you want to share. What are you doing here? How do you open up getting someone to share about themselves?
Dave, I met Dave when I was in Teen Challenge in Rochester.
Okay.
Probably my 5th time rolling through the place.
Yeah.
But I had actually heard about Dave from a gal I was in treatment with when he was in admission. So much.
You're good.
So when I was at Teen Challenge, I had a lot of trauma, and it could be physically, verbally, violent in my life. And anyway, I had gone on a pass with my husband at the time, and we got into it in the driveway. And anyway, so they decided they were going to send me to an facility.
Yep.
For a few months, and then they would have me back. Well, that's not how it happened exactly, but I did do my time at the Earth facility, and I did learn some things while I was there about communication and boundaries and things that I wanted to learn. The Teen Challenge that maybe they didn't specialize in, and the facility could help me. But so I called Dave when I got there, and he suggested about a church that he knew of, and so God took me on a different journey. But like, they came to see me at the Earth facility.
Can you real quick? What we've had a nurse from an Earth facility on, and we've had a few women who've been in an Earth facility. What is an Earth facility?
It's a mental health inpatient. This after I was there for a month, they said I was good to go. They're like, we're not even exactly sure why they sent you here, but
Right.
that's neither here nor
No,
there.
I get it. I had someone on who had to fight their way to get out of there, like the
Yeah.
state one, whatever, blah blah blah. But okay, so you get out of there.
But
Yep.
it can be really creepy.
Yeah.
And I did stuff there, so that was good. And the Lord kind of redirected me to where He wanted me to be, and and Dave has just been a part of my journey, and like he came to visit me at that facility, and even when I was in Teen Challenge, he was, I believe, responsible for bringing a group of people that were doing inner healing
Mhm.
ministry, like deliverance prayer, whatever.
Yep.
I was about to go to the chiropractor, and my ride didn't show up, my medical tab, and so I took this guy back from, and he brought his crew, and they prayed for me. And my story is that I had a spirit of oppression, and a spirit of from a bad car accident that I was in, and it was pinching my shoulder, and that thing left shrieking, and I felt 3 feet taller. I mean, like, I didn't need the chiropractor, I needed the great physician, and so Dave just done a lot of amazing things. Like, he's a connector, and he hears the Lord, and he loves people passionately, and will do anything for us. And I love him with Dave. I love hanging out with him. And I just, he knows the word of the Lord. He's inspiring and helpful, and pray with people, and just like he can just really wisdom to you, and it's super helpful. And I love hearing his stories. Like, I brought some notes while I was sitting here, and I was like, I hope you have Dave back, because he got a lot more stories than this that the world needs to hear. Like, yeah, God has like used him to even keep children there. You know, he
We've
was
been going 2 hours. I could go
I know,
another
I
2.
know he was asking the Lord for like a sign if he should go, and a truck goes by. This is India, right? I love to just sit and listen to him, and just the way that the Lord has used him in this season. I mean, I think he met this people in India because he was doing online evangelism or something. I don't know. He's just got good stories. Anyway, so
Jacob didn't disappoint. I'll tell you what. He's been in my ear about you for a while, and I think when he was on the show that night, he reached out to you or something, and yeah, and then he's been not on me about it, but it just
Yeah, I appreciate you, Jake. Thank you for hooking this up.
Yeah, and so then when I was in St. Paul, and A and Dave got me connected with this church, and like I started doing some homeless ministry and different things like that. And like I hadn't been around anything like that, and so yeah, he just knew where to connect me, and it was a really good place for me. I met a pastor named Julie Jacobs, and just like her heart for people, amazing. Anyways, I was in the car with a couple of friends, and I see this girl on the street, on the corner of the street with all of her bags, like her suitcases. And I don't know, she was just like standing there. So I said to my friends, I was like, "Hey, can we stop and get her?" So we get her in the car, and you know, she's like, "Yeah, can you give me a ride to the gas station?" I couldn't leave her at the gas station, so I was like, "Where do you want to ride to? We'll bring you." We bring her to this Quaker paradise. Like, I mean, I don't even phrase.
yeah.
But we had to leave her because I had to go back and like give somebody a ride to the airport. But I said to my friend, "We got to go back and get that girl." Anyway, we helped her for a couple days, but I really didn't know how to help somebody that had been on heroin because I wasn't method,
Right.
and so I just didn't know, you know. So I called Dave. Dave, like, I need some training.
Yeah.
I need you to quit me here. Like, I want to help people, but I don't know what I'm doing. I would have given that girl like some money because she was going to go to Teen Challenge. I got to go to heroin. I was like, "Okay, well, I can still give you $20 so you go get it and come back." Anyway, I was like, that wasn't the way to do it, but I didn't know. I didn't know.
I wish I met you before I got into recovery. That is so dry.
Oh boy.
I just know I was a piece of crap.
No,
Yeah.
at that exact same time, Pastor Tomas, like part of life, like did their city outreach. He baptizes this kid, brings him to the discipleship house, and he's like, "Hey, can you get this kid to treatment, or his dad's coming?" Or I was like, yeah, okay, I'll cancel work." And so I have both these two. So like I wound up taking her to like a hotel or something to try to stay with her because I didn't know where to bring her. Anyways, and then he stayed at the discipleship house with my friend. Anyways, he had like a half ounce of weed when I was trying to take him to treatment. I was like, I don't know. I don't know if we should put it in the trash. I don't know what we can do. Anyway, I told my friend I got in my car. Yeah, so I was like, "Help, I need to equip me." Anyway, so I did bring that kid to Teen Challenge and became his emergency contact. It was such a cool. Anyways, so yeah, David just been, you know, like I kind of stuff I think from him, you know, and just from being around people that he connected me to. So anyways, I was raised in a Christian home. I didn't want anybody telling me what to do, so I got rebellious and just did my own thing. I got pregnant when I was 16. And so my daughter's 31, and I've been in treatment, and Teen Challenge is by far my favorite treatment ever. No matter, it's still made up of people, and it can be a little bit over the top. But I've also been in Victory Outreach for a year, which is nobody goes there on purpose. They know. But I was so out of my mind. Like people, you know, there were treatments where they said, "We thought we were going to have to say because you didn't make sense," or you know, especially back in the day, the drugs were so bad. Like the brain gets
Psychosis, girl.
Yeah,
it
yeah,
happens.
yeah.
I've heard.
Yeah. So
I've seen.
Yeah. So Teen Challenge is by far, and they do. When we mentioned Teen Challenge earlier, they do also have in their short-term program, which is 1 to 3 months.
Yep.
They also have a non-faith-based track.
Yep.
And so somebody that's like, I don't know about the Lord, whatever, I think it's the place
Yeah.
to go.
I was fortunate enough in my, I think, second or third year recovery, I was invited to a Teen Challenge gala. And that was, it was one of the best experiences I had. We were
Mhm.
fortunate enough to be invited by someone who was well off. So we were at some special table. I didn't realize what the dollar amount was they spent on the plate I had in front of me, which was ridiculous. My motorcycles worth that much. But I had an experience there, and it was amazing. I met some people who talked about it. They were nice. Whatever the case is, like, this is doing this new life. It's amazing.
Yeah.
How much sobriety do you have?
8 years continuous.
Nice.
So, yeah, it's best life I've ever lived. Best life.
I've also been in Metro Hope, which is the Healing House for women
Okay.
and children. A really excellent program. And I've had the privilege of being the house manager there. I've also had the privilege of being able to mentor a woman through her year program at Teen Challenge. And I've actually lived at Freedom Works. They had like 4 women's apartments there. I think.
You got one a block and a half away.
So I've heard of will work.
Yep.
Like people in whatever program I've either been in or working in, they come here and they love it. I currently work at North Star Regional and at Seago as a technician. And so I know the guys in IOP like to come down here. So this is the first time I've seen that room, though. It does look pretty fun.
You guys were able to go check it
Yeah,
out.
poke our head in there.
We'll take a little tour when we leave. We'll wrap up
Awesome.
here pretty soon. But before we even go any further, we come back on the show again.
Absolutely.
No, I got records in and
Yeah, no, I was like, I hope I can come back.
He's only here for
How many listeners do you have?
we got people.
That's
Uh,
a lot.
I'm joking. I'm joking. Usually, an episode like this, I can tell right now, like, we'll be at probably a couple thousand.
Wow.
It's a decent for. I don't advertise. I turn down sponsorship because then they start telling you what to say and
Okay.
Can I just
whatever.
say, can I just
Come
say
on.
something? Okay. One component of the ministry that's been really effective is we put on this thing called Setting the Captives Free Intensive Retreat. And Cherish has been to it 5 times. So it's a 6-day intensive retreat where we do spiritual, healing really with people, restoration, deliverance, and it changes people, and it comes off in layers. You don't just you come one time and it's like, oh wow,
Right.
I'm hit, I'm done now.
Yeah.
No, and so other things come up, and but we've done 17 of these, and so our next one is not until November 30th through December 6th, and then we do it January, February, March, and April.
November 30th is the next one.
Yep.
And is this once it fills up, it fills up? Or-
Yeah. So the last one we had 53 people at it.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's at the Salvation Army Northwoods Camp in Finlayson, Minnesota. Marjorie Cole is the lead presenter there. She does just an awesome job. And the person gets on what we call the mercy seat, and
Okay.
basically they're telling their story. And then she sees, is there, some kind of, thing in your background that keeps coming back over and over and over, and so she comes at it, from a perspective where it does, if once it's identified, okay, it's all over because it's
And we can
authority.
take care of it.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah. So anyhow, it's very rewarding and it changes people's lives. So highly recommend
If
that.
someone wants to be part of this or go to it, what's the steps they should take to do so?
Yeah, you can get a hold of me, Dave Johnson, and my phone number is 612-414-5575. And my email, djohnson@lostsheepministriesintl.org. But any of those ways, I'm David Johnson on Facebook, and then we have the Lost Sheep Ministries
So you
International.
do
page.
know more phone numbers than just.
Yeah, well, I know my own.
I gotta have some comedy to the show.
Yeah,
Right? That's what it was based
That's
on.
funny. I know my daughters and
Yeah,
that's
that's it.
I remember a buddy from. Remember we used to call phone numbers. Like I
Yeah.
know some of those still, but they're not around. Phones aren't. All right, we're gonna take a hard left turn. A
Yeah.
hard left.
Yeah.
And Dave, pick a
Mhm.
number 1 through 100.
1 through 100. Okay. I'm going to say 74.
74. Okay. What breed of dog would you be if you had to be a dog?
Be one of two. I'd either be a golden doodle or a, I think golden doodle. I think it would just be a golden doodle. I mean,
I've come to love rules. I've got a standard.
oh, you do?
I always thought they're pardon my language on this one. I've always thought they're the ugliest dogs. Ugliest. We've got German short hairs and little West, and we ended up with this little black standard poodle.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have nothing but a standard poodle.
They're so smart, aren't they?
He's kind of a dope, but no, honestly, I taught her to ring a bell with her nose to go outside to go pee when she was like 3, 4 months old.
Yeah.
That's about as far as that training went. She barks like a madman. She's 6 years old now. I love her. She's not no anger.
Yeah.
But she barks like crazy. She's real timid. I carry her like a baby down the steps. She won't go downstairs.
Oh,
So
boy.
I carry her like this, and her little paws go like that, just like doodles. But she puts her like a baby. I got pictures. She'll go upstairs. When we bring her to the groomers, I put her in the car, and she just freezes. Damn it. And now I'm gonna say pardon my language on this, but like she gets so scared. And like we'll be driving, and this happened 4 or 5 times. Like, is the dog fart? This was the first time. Literally scared the shit out of her. I picked her up and there was a nugget sitting under her butt.
Oh, wow.
That's
Oh, wow.
a little poop comes out of her.
Yeah.
When she was a little puppy, we bring her salad.
Yeah.
And we got her from we bought it for the little kid, and I think she's abused or something, but she's the best dog I've ever had. The thing about those two is no shedding.
No.
Like every dog we've ever had shed, and
Yeah.
we took it for granted until we got a dog that didn't shed. Doesn't shed when she gets wet. It's the craziest stuff, and I love this dog. So whatever. All right, pick your number 1 through 100. 3. Ooh, early number. What is one goal that you'd like to accomplish during your life?
well, I would like to be a
Good goal.
Yeah.
Pick a number 1 through 100.
I'm gonna have to say 8 since we're celebrating 8 years of ministry. You had
8.
said
8. That's the
8
number.
years sobriety. I've always said 8 is my favorite number.
All right. But we're almost. All right. If they made a movie of your life, which actor or actress would you want to play you?
I like it. Let's see. A little anti-Hollywood right now, just because of all the corruption that I've discovered.
Yep. Oh yeah.
But despite that, that is actually a very question. Okay, it'd have to be somebody crazy, probably.
Jodie Foster.
Angelina Jolie.
No, but
I think that's crazy too. Kind of.
Yeah, she's crazy. She fits the bill.
I don't know. You know what? Honestly, I'm just so out of touch with. I don't turn a TV on. I'm a weirdo.
Hey,
I haven't watched a new movie
All
for
right,
like
pick a number.
since COVID.
See what number 8 did to you? Favorite quote. I couldn't. Oh, there you go. Dad knew. Come on.
Yeah. Oh, it's not an option. Sure. Okay.
Is it?
No, I don't really have a.
No,
A
I'm
favorite.
trying to think of a quote. Like what?
Okay, here. It's something that my dad used to say. You're only as bored as you are boring.
Get a shovel, because that's deep. That's deep. You are boring.
And a close second would be when it's odd, it's God.
I've heard that quite a bit.
Yeah.
If it's hot, it's got. Pick a number 1 through 100.
Let's see. How about
Remember, there's no wrong number here.
oh,
50. You have your own late night talk show. Who's the first guest that you have on your show, living or dead?
Jesus.
You're the first one to say that. Every time someone's on the yes, I'm in my mind like, yes, I got it. No, they're Marilyn Monroe, John Wayne, or
I love Jesus. He's my guy.
yeah, right.
He did everything for me.
Right.
Why wouldn't I want to interview him?
Tell me if you've heard this. A guy was he's like, I don't know how he came about explaining the story, but he was like, and he was explaining who our God was. And he's like, there's this almighty king, he's ruler, just and honest and fair king. And if you stole, now, you know the story, tell it better than me. And he said, in this kingdom, if you stole, he was merciful. So it was 40 lashes, but 40 lashes was death. So come to find out the daughter's stealing. So is he going to be merciful and not whatever? Or is he going to be just and serve out the punishment? Well, he serves out the punishment. The daughter gets up to the executioner, the one with the lashes, lays down, opens her back, and the executioner goes to whip. King says, hey, wait. Goes and lays over her. Executioner's like, I can't do it. You're king. He's like, no. I'm going to do this for my daughter. Lashes and kills him. That's what God did for us.
Yeah.
That's what Jesus did for us.
That's right.
And I know I butchered the story, but you got the concept.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
did.
And for some people, it needs to be kind of dumbed down a little, whatever.
Yeah.
But that was a good fiction of it. 1 through 100. Don't get me talking.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go with 5 for 5 years of sobriety.
There we go. Who is a hero in your life? This is another one where I'm like, why didn't everyone say it? Go ahead. I shouldn't say that before you.
Well, he already used Jesus, so.
Okay,
But I'm gonna say my parents,
that's good.
because my parents they love me great, and
Mine was my mom when the question came up. And then after, I was like, why didn't I say God? Why didn't I say God? But I did it. 1 through 100.
100.
100 on the number.
Wow.
There's more than that, but the 1 through 100 through 114, favorite sport, favorite blizzard, favorite restaurant. It's if you had to class on one thing, what would it be? God.
Effective communication.
Effective communication.
it's good.
That is good. A lot of people could use that class. We'll do one more round. Hey, 1 through 100.
See. Shouldn't be hard.
Mhm.
How about 33?
33.
That's how old Jesus was when he died.
It's circled in here. Oh, I know why it's circled. It's a question I ask everyone on the show. Pick one more, and we'll go back to this because everyone gets asked this
One
at
more
the very end after we do gratitude, goodbye statements. I ask one final question.
And let's say the 92.
92. If you could live in any country, which country would you live in?
Norway is so beautiful. I've been there. And
I've heard.
My son is going there for his 50th birthday celebration. He's taking his family. So I would say, I've been to India and Russia, a lot of other places too, but Norway is probably the most beautiful place I've ever been.
I had a buddy in recovery. He's got quite a few years. I have a buddy in recovery. He brought his wife or his soon-to-be wife there to get married because of all the people. Their wedding photos are amazing.
One of the guys I worked with married a woman from Norway, and he now lives over there. And he Love you, John. And but his wife, he had to take this test, right, to become a citizen,
Norwegian.
a Norwegian,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So he's got dual citizenship. He just passed his language test. Pretty cool.
That is nice.
I'm gonna go with my age, 48.
48. Oh, I did math at 47 when you said what your daughter's age was and how old you were when you
I
were.
also came up with 47. Thank you.
All right. So 48.
Solving
did you say?
mysteries.
48.
48. Okay. 48. If you were a wrestler, what would your interesting song be?
I never watched, but I did get a prophetic word once. And it was that I am like he saw me in a wrestling garb and said I was really strong and that I was whipping my opponent. What song goes with that? I don't know. It's got to be something about God gets the glory. I don't know. It's got nothing to do with me.
All right. If there's a song called God Gets Glory, that'd be the one.
Yeah.
You know, 100.
Okay. 61.
61. What is your favorite magical or mythical animal? Pick another number 1 through 100. That look, I knew you were.
I mean, I would say fairies.
Oh, there you go.
They have a fairy garden. And I just want them to be real so bad.
Oh, geez.
They might be, but you just never seen them.
Maybe.
There could be fairies. How do you know flies aren't what real fairies are?
Maybe they are.
Huh? Oh, the snorkel. We're going deep. All right. Name of the show is Attitude for Gratitude. What's your gratitude look like today?
Yeah. I'm grateful for Riley and I'm grateful for my Savior, Jesus Christ. He gave me my life. So I'm grateful for community. I'm grateful for friends like y'all. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful to have a daughter. I'm grateful to have a church that backs me. And I'm just really grateful for sobriety and Christianity. Like I love the church. I love being adopted by God. There's nothing better.
Awesome sauce. Attitude for gratitude. What's your
Yeah.
gratitude?
You know, I actually was already saying this to God today, just that every day I say this. Jesus, I'm so grateful for what you did for me because I'm undeserving.
Mm.
I'm undeserving of forgiveness, and he still does it anyways. And so I don't get tired of doing that. You know, the Bible talks about, people will in heaven, you'll praise him continuously. Some people might think, well, gosh, and that get boring, right? I'm just constantly praising God. I don't think I could ever tire of doing it for what he's done for me because I fully deserve to go
Okay.
grateful to God.
Maybe you did deserve to.
That's right.
Past tense.
There you go.
Not
There it is.
Current.
And
I can't tell you that. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that.
I am very grateful for my family, my boys, my parents, I mean, my siblings, everybody's just been so wonderful. And, for folks that don't have strong support, that burnt all those bridges, Christ welcomes you because that's a hard pill to swallow,
Oh,
to
yeah.
not have people you really need the support. So whether you have a spiritual family, friends become your family. Grateful for that.
Dave,
Yeah,
attitude for gratitude. What's it looking like?
yeah, I've got a lot to be grateful for. I'm grateful for my family, my kids, my 7 grandkids. I have 2 great granddaughters now. I'm grateful for the tribe that God has connected me to, and all the people who, through divine appointments, I've been able to interact with and somehow impact their life. I mean, it's a total blessing for me, and I'm just so grateful for all the open doors like this that I didn't know you, Tim. Out of the blue, I get an invite to come here, thanks to Jake. But, it's just that word of mouth that gets passed on. It's like, well, you need to have this guy. So these doors open all the time for speaking engagements. And so, yeah, I mean, I love the Lord so much. And I want to do what he wants me to do. And I don't want to fall short and miss the mark. And I'm sure I do on a regular basis, but I try not to. And I just want to give, honor and glory to God for what he did in my life, because he changed it up for me, because I couldn't do it myself. Did it, I couldn't do it.
Amen.
Heck yeah. All right, I'm gonna do some wrap up stuff, and then got one final question for you kiddos. For all
It's
you
number
kiddos.
33.
I make it sound like it's some special question. It's what I've always asked, and then it's
I love it. You know what? You have a great format here.
never the same.
That's what's great about it.
The ending usually is, because this is the other thing, and I was in my head, this way. I always make the final word, and I'm in my head usually. Well, I did ask about gratitude. Maybe they put it out there. But no, what we're gonna do is one more quick round.
Mhm.
Anything you want to add before the night's over? Come on.
All right, so y'all have heard that God loves you while we've been sitting here, and I have a quick but important question. If you were to die this very second, you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that you would go to heaven. Well, if not, the word says, "For all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. The wages of sin is death, but the gift of God is eternal life through Jesus Christ our Lord." The Bible also reads that whoever calls upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. I'm going to say a quick prayer for you. Lord, bless all these listeners and their families with long and healthy lives. Jesus, make yourself real to them, do a quick work in their heart. And if they have not received you, Jesus, personal Lord and Savior, I pray that they would do so now. So if you would like to receive the gift that God has for you today, say this after me with your heart and your lips out loud. Dear Lord Jesus, come into my heart. Forgive me of my sin. Wash me and cleanse me. Set me free. Jesus, that you died for me. I believe that you are risen from the dead and that you're coming back again for me. Fill me with the Holy Spirit. Give me a passion for the lost, a hunger for the things of you, God, a holy boldness to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ. I'm saved, I'm born again, I'm forgiven, and I'm on my way to heaven because I have Jesus in my heart. And if you've prayed that prayer, then as a minister of the gospel of Jesus Christ, I tell you today that you're always remember to run to God, not away from Him. He loves you so much.
Oh, I love it. Woo!
Anything you'd like to add? Oh, go ahead. No.
How do you top that?
There's no. It's
You
not a
just did it.
competition.
I know. I don't know how I could even add to that. Perfect. You know what? This is out of gratitude. I'm just grateful for this unexpected kind of invite here, because I had no idea what to expect. And you guys are crazy here. There's like all this decor. I'm finding there's like that one spot on the wall where there's something to look at. Oh my gosh, it's army guys. They're
They're soldiers.
people. I mean, it's craziness. There's a troll upside down looking at us here, and I'm a little odd myself.
Welcome home.
Clearly, I'm never bored.
It's a good thing.
Anyways, yeah, no, this is a cool place where anybody can. I love it.
100%. Dave, anything you'd like to add before the evening's over?
Yeah, just, Cherish and I spoke at, two different groups of people this week, and she did that same prayer with them, and she said, I'd like to say this thing out loud, and I don't know, there was maybe 70 people in the room, and I'd say maybe 50 people said that or, out loud. So yeah, it's effective. And, yeah, I mean, we're all about getting people in the kingdom. It's not just about getting people clean and sober. We want in the kingdom. Jesus does too. He doesn't want anyone to be lost. So if you're out there and struggling, if you want to talk to somebody, call me. I'll answer my phone. Okay. And we can talk this thing through. And if you need help, we'll get you going in the right direction, and you make the decision. You're the one that has to do the work. But, I'm ready to help you if you're ready for help.
Service 101, baby. Servant of God. All right, you guys have heard a lot tonight, and you've been given the phone numbers at the bottom of the screen, and out there on TikTok, 1-2-415-75, or you go to Lost Sheep, www.lostshepministriesintl.org, LOSTEPMINISTRIESIL.org. Reach out. Otherwise, you see my number at the bottom of the screen. You can reach out to me. I'll get you in contact with them. But you are worth it. So if don't do that today, you're worth it. If you're struggling, we talk about heavy stuff, suicide talk, stuff. Utilize that self-help for 988. That's a 24/7 number. Please don't make a rash decision that you're the rest of your life and your life. Stick around. You're worth it. Like, mental health is real, and don't be ashamed of it. Reach out. Go to the doctor if you need to go to the doctor. Come to a meeting. Find something. There are 3 people talk about being saved like they once were. It's out there for the taking. Like, we have fun. Like, this new life doesn't have to be hard. You look at this. Come on. Oh, I forgot. You know what? Sorry, audience. I forgot about switching it so you guys can see this lovely face. We'll switch that around because I
Could I add?
to be on there. Yeah.
I just want to add my phone number as well, because I'm one of Dave's outreach ministers and part 2, right?
Yes.
My phone number is 719-851-0143. You have
719-843.
719-851-0143.
Okay.
Same here. I always answer my phone. I take after my dad. 612-229-3199. 3199.
Okay. You guys heard it. Like, I've given you guys 3 phone numbers tonight. Utilize them.
Yeah.
Reach out.
And you can text at those numbers as
Text.
well.
And Tim, we just want to say thank you to you. You did a great job.
Yeah, you're awesome.
Pleasure to be with your story. Honestly, selfishly, I used you guys tonight. I didn't get hired drunk in this whole thing.
You didn't.
It works. Something's working when I do this show.
It's working. Yep.
And
Keep
I
it
know
going.
there's some people out there listening that I don't believe they got. I listen to the show, and if they did, maybe next week they won't. I don't know. But like I said, if you're struggling, please reach out. We're down here at We'll Work for Recovery, 4026 Washington North. Every day of the week, we've got stuff going on. Wednesdays, there's a men's meeting and a women's meeting at 5 p.m. Every night at 7 p.m., we have a meeting. Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, big meeting. A lot of people. If you're not into the big thing, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Thursday night, a spiritual meeting. Tuesday night is a well-bridie meeting. That's an indigenous people, Native American style meeting. We do some sludging. We've got some great running the meeting, and Jess is. It's a good meeting. So come on down, like, get involved. Saturdays, we have the walk and talk at 7 o'clock. Then they do a bonfire meeting during the summers, which is now. And then Sundays at about noon to 3, there's always a barbecue going on for $3. Come get fed. And if you can't, I've got a scholarship set aside, and that's when you're going to have that for gratitude. Food. August 9th, Flash from the past, 80s bash. I can't stop laughing when I say it, but it's going to be a good time. Food, fun, walking tacos, dress contests, retro stuff, Moses or whatever. I've already got tons of donations, prizes, and 50-50 stuff. And if you want to be involved, get a hold of me. If you want to donate, get a hold of me. Same with us, Sheep Ministries. If you want to donate, go to the website at the bottom of the screen and donate. They need the help, and the monthly stuff makes better contribution for you, and that way they can budget things. And it just, if you're able to give, it all comes back tenfold. It always does. When there's been a time you didn't give, that you ended up receiving. It's like a fail-safe. But again, if you're struggling, please, please, please reach out. Don't make a decision. Just don't make a spur of the moment decision unless it's to pick up the phone and call 1-3 people, 988 intergroup, one of these numbers. Okay,
Yes.
now it's time to wrap. If you could have any,
I just want to have grace, which is the empowerment to do the things that I do before God gave me the grace to do it. And I think that is superpower. Super on the natural.
any superpower, what would it be?
Invincibility.
By choice or
Yes.
24/7?
By choice.
All right. Someone said mine. Like you walk in a room,
Yeah.
all of a sudden you're being bombarded with thoughts. Hey, any superpower, what would it be?
Be to have everybody dealing with disease or affliction.
Till next week, we love you. You're worth it. Stick with it. We'll talk to you next week. Bye. All right.
Applause.
Good show, guys.